Welcome to F101 with Friends, your pit stop for all things Formula One. Whether you're here for the stats, the memes, or just figuring out what a chicane is, we've got you covered. Buckle up, because the fun starts right now. Hi everyone, my name is Nisha, a newbie F1 girlie who is desperate to make more friends so that I can talk about this sport all the time. Each week, a new guest will join me on this journey, from seasoned F1 fans to other curious newcomers, and we will explore what it is about this million-dollar sport at gravity-defying speeds that we just can't stop watching. We'll try to break it all down in a way that's fun, relatable, and hopefully try to explain some of the tech talk. Today is special because for the final race of the year, Abu Dhabi, we're closing the loop. We're going back to where it all started. My first guest ever. The one who sat with me as we tried to explain what a Constructors' Championship was. And she's back. Please welcome my sister, my day one, Bharati. Welcome back to the show, Bharati.
Thank you for having me. It's always been wonderful being a part of this show.
And what have you learned this year following the F1 calendar?
Firstly, watching you watch F1 has been its own entertainment. I will also say that the number of F1 reels that I get now is insane.
Yes.
Sometimes it totally catches me off guard. I know there are two championships, the drivers and constructors. But let's be honest, the Drivers' Championship is the star. Constructors is the supporting character who does all the work and gets none of the fame.
Yep.
I also found out that there can be a lot of silence during a race when the drivers are doing tire management. But the best and most dramatic moments come up during a rainy race.
Yes, because then you see cars skating, drivers praying, race engineers aging 20 years in one lap. And then suddenly it just all clicks, right? This is why we watch F1.
And of course, my personal favorite discovery, penalties are vibe-based.
Yes.
FIA stewards will look at an incident and go, you know what? I feel like giving 5 seconds today.
Yeah, or you'll get the opposite. No penalty. Let them fight. The consistency is very consistent in just being inconsistent.
I swear. Seriously. But the biggest thing I learned, for 24 weekends every year, I no longer have a sister. I lose you to the free practice, to the live timing screens, to the post-race analysis, and I definitely lose you to the 1 million F1 reels.
Yes, that is the price to pay. But let's talk about Qatar before we move on to the next race. What were your lowlights and highlights? We watched the race together.
I mean, it was fun watching the race while doing my nails and, from time to time peeking into the screen.
Yeah.
But I am new to F1. But when you have a mandatory pit stop because of tire life, why wouldn't you use the lap 7 incident to do a 10-second pit stop? Why did McLaren opt to do the normal 25-second pit stop?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. That was a really bad call from McLaren. Like, Red Bull made the right call, pitted Max at that lap 7 incident that Hulkenberg caused. And like they managed to have, extended tire life and he managed to win because of that.
Yeah, that's true.
Between the McLarens, if they didn't want to risk the double stack, they should have at least pit Norris. They could have sealed the Drivers' Championship.
Yes, that's right.
But I don't know why they didn't do it, and the whole internet is very pissed off with them. Like, maybe the pressure of winning both championships got to them. Maybe someone just lost their mind.
That's most likely.
Or my favorite conspiracy theory that the FIA promised us all an epic season. The F1 movie came out and there are many new fans. So they needed this race, this title to end in Abu Dhabi.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's just my conspiracy, but could be true, right? So yeah, that was the most, honestly, the Qatar race by itself, the sprint included, was not that great because obviously we were doing other things while the race was going on. But yeah, these were a few things that caught me and the entire internet off guard, right?
But let's dive into our season finale together. We are talking Yas Marina Sunset Racing. It's on Yas Island, home of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the season finale, the track that has seen more championship heartbreaks than any circuit on earth, including a very dramatic win in the F1 movie.
Yas Queen.
Abu Dhabi joined the circuit in 2009. Drivers will do 58 laps around this 5.281 kilometer circuit with 16 corners and 2 very long DRS zones. The lap record is surprisingly a 125.637 set by Kevin Magnussen last year.
Abu Dhabi is the only race on the calendar that starts in broad daylight and ends at night, the famous sunset race. You get golden hour aesthetics at the start and sparkly neon lights by the end. It's a director's dream. Makes sense why it was in an F1 movie.
Yes, and also lots and lots of fireworks. Abu Dhabi also holds the title for being one of the most expensive racetracks ever built. We're talking over $1.3 billion poured into Yas Marina.
Oof.
This place wasn't constructed, it was summoned out of sand and money. Meanwhile, poor classic tracks are just held together with passion, duct tape, and a prayer.
One of the quirkiest features of Yas Marina is its underground pit exit, the only one of its kind in Formula One. Drivers finish their pit stop, drop straight into a tunnel, weave under the track, and then pop back onto the circuit like Respawn character in GTA.
Yes.
It looks cool on TV, but most drivers will tell you it's a bit difficult to predict where you end up on the track and who might be behind you.
Yes, that's when the race engineers play a most important role. So, no hope for Ferrari. For years, Abu Dhabi, like Monaco, was known as one of those processional races on the calendar. The running joke was that whoever led into turn 1 might as well start writing their victory speech because nobody was overtaking after that. The funniest reaction came from Kimi Raikkonen, who said, "The first few turns are good, the rest is beep." The FIA eventually stepped in and redesigned parts of the track in 2021, adding more speed, which was quite a welcome change.
The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix isn't going anywhere. The event is locked into the F1 calendar until 2030.
Nice.
Which means the season finale will keep its annual tradition of neon lights, expensive yachts, dramatic sunsets, and at least one driver having a full mental breakdown on the radio.
Yes, this is true. Now, you've taken a look at what this track looks like, right? How would you describe it? What does it look like?
To me, it kind of looks like a modified boomerang, but not the sleek kind that you find at a souvenir shop. No, this one's funky.
Yeah.
The right bottom of the boomerang is all bumpy and curvy. The top is stretched into a long straight spine, and the left bottom curls into that twisty hotel wrap finale where the cars slither around like they're trying to find a parking spot at a Yas mall.
Yes, exactly that. All right, let's break down the sectors because sector 1 is turns 1 to 4, which is like the right bottom curve of our boomerang. We launch off the start-finish straight and dive into turn 1. It's a tight left that demands heavy braking and absolute commitment. This is where aero grip matters because you need the front end hooked the moment you turn in. As the car flicks into turn 2, the boomerang metaphor comes alive. A smooth bending right-hander that instantly tests balance. The track begins to dip and curve and you can feel the car skating towards the outside line if the rear isn't stable. Turn 3 is taken fast and flowing, with drivers keeping the throttle open longer than you think it's legal. The downforce glues the car to the asphalt. Then turn 4 arrives, a gentle left kink that funnels drivers straight towards the braking zone for the hairpin ahead.
Sector 2, turns 5 to 8. The top spine of the boomerang. This is the business part of the boomerang. Turn 5 is the famous hairpin. You brake hard from 320 kilometers per hour to 70 kilometers per hour. Rotate the car tightly and prepare for a drag race mode.
Yep.
If you nail this corner, the entire sector becomes your playground. If you miss it, well, enjoy watching 3 cars pass you down the straight. The long straight. From turn 5, the DRS zone unleashes maximum overspeed. This is where low drag counts. Teams trim the wings just enough to blast down the straight without sacrificing too much stability later. The track opens up beautifully and slipstreams become your best friend or worst enemy. Turn 6 to 7 is that quick chicane at the end of the straight. Brake late, throw the car across the apexes, and then blast out again toward turn 8. Another straight follows. Not as long as the first, but still prime real estate for overtakes. Drivers use this stretch to size up their rivals for a dive bomb into turn 9.
Sector 3 is turn 9 to 16, the left bottom curve. This is where Yas Marina goes, okay, fun's over, let's test your patience. This is the twisty, fiddly, hotel-wrapped left bottom part of the boomerang. Turn 9 is a fast sweeping left-hander. The new layout made it smoother and much quicker. Drivers brake lightly and carry huge mid-corner speed. From turn 10 onwards, the track turns tight and technical. Turns 10 through 12 wiggle through small radius corners where mechanical grip matters more than aero. Drivers will feather the throttle constantly, trying to keep the car planted without overheating the rears. Then you snake through turns 13 and 14. This is the hotel section where the iconic Yas lights reflect off the cars. It's slow, narrow, and requires laser precision. Turn 15 and 16 finish the lap with a sharp switchback that tests traction and patience. The car needs to rotate nicely, otherwise you'll tiptoe out of the corner and lose time all the way down the main straight. So, Bharati, we have a title fight ahead of us. What are your podium predictions? Because this is make or break for 3 people.
Yes, and those 3 people are Verstappen, Lando Norris, as well as Oscar Piastri.
Yes, correct.
Honestly, I'm really hoping to see Max Verstappen win because he's just been a complete giant in this whole thing, you know. You put him in probably our own car and he would probably race it faster than anyone else on the track. So my predictions, my hopeful predictions would be Verstappen, probably Lando Norris because he's doing pretty well, and Oscar Piastri in third.
Okay, but if it happens that way, Lando will win the championship.
Ooh.
So then, let me modify my question to say, who do you want to win the championship?
Oh, to win the champion? Max Verstappen.
Yeah, it's the greatest comeback ever, right? He was at 104-point deficit, and now he's brought it down to a part where if he wins and Norris finishes 4th or lower, he wins the 5th title, which is insane. If McLaren loses this, I'm going to lose all respect for that team because they had it in the bag. They had the fastest car.
True.
So, yeah, most likely I think, because there are more scenarios where Lando Norris emerges champion. So, I think he might become champion. But, as the words leave my mouth, there's a small voice in my head that says, do not discount Max Verstappen.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very interesting race. It's a good place for McLaren. It's a good place for, I'm not even going to talk about Ferrari. It's a good place for Red Bull. So it's a good place for Mercedes. This is this is going to be very, very exciting. See, the thing is, from 5th position onwards, we kind of know where everyone's going to end up. Williams is definitely going to end up in 5th, thanks to Sainz's podium.
The smooth operator.
Yes, at Qatar, which is, and I'm just I saw this recently. Hamilton replaced Sainz at Ferrari. Hamilton has 0 podiums this year.
Crazy.
Sainz has 2.
Oof.
Kimi Antonelli, who took the place of Hamilton at Mercedes, Hamilton has 0 podiums this year. Kimi has 3. It is the worst year to be Lewis Hamilton. And there's another conspiracy theory now. Wherever you end up on the championship table, right? You get inversely proportional wind tunnel time. Which means,
I saw this too.
Right? So if you're first, you will get the least amount. Right?
Yes.
Right now, Ferrari is sitting 4th. Okay, which means you will get less championship money for sure.
Yep.
But you get a lot more wind tunnel time.
Yep.
Which will be helpful to them.
Yes.
And Ferrari doesn't really have to worry about championship money because they get $150 million anyway as part of their legacy
fee.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Maybe next year is their year.
I hope so. I mean, Seeing the reels with Hamilton is just so depressing nowadays.
I know.
What is the best part of this race? Yeah, the weather will be nice. My man, what is up with your weather?
Yes, it has been quite a roller coaster. Except this roller coaster only goes down.
Downwards, yeah. What would you like to say to your fans? I'm sorry, my baby, no.
Yeah, it's been bad for them. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Yes. But let's rewind a little bit and talk about how Yas Marina even came to be. Because this track didn't just pop out of the ground. It was manifested by a country that decided one day, we would like a Grand Prix. And also, an entire luxury island. Thank you.
That's just Abu Dhabi.
Yep. Back in the mid-2000s, Abu Dhabi wanted a global sporting identity that went beyond desert safaris and giant shopping malls. So the government launched the Yas Island project, which was basically step 1, build a world-class F1 circuit. Step 2, surround it with hotels, theme parks, marinas, concert halls, water parks, golf courses, and luxury everything. Step 3, invite Eminem, Coldplay, and every DJ with a laptop.
Construction began in 2007, and as you'd expect with billion-dollar desert architecture, it came with its fair share of challenges. Workers battled brutal heat, shifting sand foundations, and the logistical nightmare of building a marina in the middle of a desert. Plus, the project faced criticism around labor conditions, heavy hours, harsh climate, and the usual scrutiny that a mega project in the Gulf attracts. Not exactly a soft launch.
Still, Abu Dhabi powered through, and in 2009, we got the first ever day-to-night race, complete with a glowing hotel that changes colors like a mood ring, and a pit lane exit that looks like a secret Bond agent tunnel.
Now, one thing Abu Dhabi absolutely nailed from the start was the after-hours scene. Enter the Yasalam after-race concerts. Basically Coachella, but with more yachts and fewer people pretending to love indie music. We've had The Killers, Kanye West, Rihanna, Post Malone, Guns N' Roses. It's insane.
Yep.
The drivers finish sweating through the 58 laps and the fans go straight into a party headlined by actual A-list icons.
Meanwhile, on the pit wall, there's a different kind of party that's happening because Abu Dhabi is the last race of the season. The moment the cars cross the line, team mechanics do not wait. They immediately start taking apart the garage. After the podium, you'll hear like drills, bangs, the occasional scream. It's like a construction site with confetti. There's something very funny about watching a driver lift a trophy while a crew member is just already unscrewing the floor plates with dead ice. The end of season energy is real.
Of course, for the drivers, it's crazy party night. The last of the season. I've seen the drunk reels of Max Verstappen singing, "We are the champions."
Yes.
Maybe he's more responsible now. He has a child. He'll go home. Nah, it's gin tonic time.
yes, it is. And let's talk about some of the best moments of Abu Dhabi. We'll keep the 2021 for the end. 2010, if you love F1 drama, this is one of the founding fathers. Fernando Alonso entered Abu Dhabi ready to win the championship for Ferrari until he got stuck behind Renault rookie Vitaly Petrov for 40 entire laps. Ferrari gambled on strategy. It backfired spectacularly. Surprise, surprise. And Alonso spent the rest of the race just staring at Petrov's rear wing like it had personally insulted him. Petrov defended like his life, reputation, and electricity bill depended on it.
2012. This race gifted us a cultural artifact. Kimi, driving for Lotus, took the lead and was getting too many radio messages. The Iceman gets angry immediately, delivered the most iconic radio message in motorsport. Nisha, do me the favors.
Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
That line alone should be carved into Yas Marina marble. Kimi went on to win the race without a shred of emotion.
Of course he did. 2014, the FIA woke up one morning and said, what if the last race was worth double the points? Fun, right? No, not fun. It turned the Hamilton-Rosberg title fight into a maths exam with explosions. Hamilton won the race and the championship. Rosberg's car lost power and the fans collectively agreed that this role should be thrown into the nearest ocean.
Yes.
Abu Dhabi 2014 remembers the first and last time that F1 tried this fever dream idea.
2016. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, brothers turned bitter rivals, entered the finale in a full blown soap opera arc. Hamilton needed Rosberg not to finish on the podium to steal the title, so Lewis started actively slowing down to back Nico into the pack. Mercedes begged him to speed up. Lewis pretended his radio didn't work. Rosberg, to his credit, survived the Red Bull attack, finished second, won the championship, and then immediately retired from F1. He had seen enough.
Yeah, 2016 was a tough one for him. Like, he even talks about like how much he had to do just so he could beat Lewis and like cut away from his family and everything. So he was just like, you know what? I'm done with this.
I'm it out.
Yeah. But he does come in for like occasional commentary, and I love him for that because he gives true commentary. Like when Crofty says, "Oh my God, do you think he'll be able to overtake him? Like it's going to be such an amazing race," because he wants the fans to keep watching.
Yeah.
And Nico's like, "No." 2018. Yes, the first time that Alonso retired, the grid gave him a beautiful send-off. Hamilton, Vettel, and Alonso performed synchronized donuts like a motorsport boy band. The fans cried, commentators cried, F1 Instagram cried. It was emotional, poetic, and lasted exactly 2 years before he unretired. Classic Fernando.
However, in 2022, we had an actual farewell for Sebastian Vettel, and this one hurt in a wholesome way. The entire paddock turned into a Danke Seb festival. Banners, tributes, interviews, tears everywhere. Vettel finished in the points, did donuts, and gave us the sweetest goodbye vibes you'll ever see in a sport where half the drivers usually quit via press release.
Finally, 2021. Now, the moment that turned Abu Dhabi into a global group therapy session. Hamilton versus Verstappen. Last race. Equal points. Winner takes the championship. Hamilton dominated the whole race until a late safety car caused by Nicholas Latifi. A questionable interpretation of the rules caused by Michael Massey, which created a one final lap shootout. Max had fresh tires. Lewis had heartbreak. The overtake heard around the world made Max champion. To this day, fans still argue about it, and it's still a very, very sore subject.
Cool. So next time I see an F1 fan, I say 80-21.
Yeah, say it and then run away. Abu Dhabi 2024 kicked off with chaos before the commentators could even take a sip of water. Lando Norris blasted off the line, avoided the Turn 1 demolition derby, and basically said, "Cool, I'll take it from here." From that moment on, he just vibed into the sunset, literally, delivering one of the most smoothest, most drama-free wins of his career.
Behind him, Ferrari decided to split the personality of their season one last time. Carlos Sainz was the picture of calm, sliding into P2 with zero fuss. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc, starting in P19, by the way, went full main character mode and carved through the field all the way to P3. It was chaos. It was poetry. It was hope that Ferrari will win the championship, but it was not to be this year.
Red Bull, oh boy. Max Verstappen got tangled with Oscar Piastri in turn 1, picked up a penalty, and spent the rest of the race doing a very expensive impression of a mid-grid car. He only managed P6, which is basically a retirement by Max's standards. Sergio Perez had his own spin early in the race, and he just yo-yoed through the midfield before landing in P7. Not Red Bull's favorite night of the season, but what does it matter? They had already lost the championship, and Max had won his, so he was like, whatever.
Mercedes had a classic opposites energy evening. Lewis Hamilton, in his last ever race for Mercedes, pulled out a vintage charge from P16 to finish P4. It was beautiful. George Russell had a quieter time and brought it home in P5. Steady, sensible, very George. Fun fact, they were actually neck and neck in positions finished ahead, and George let Lewis have the last one. Well, so the fans say.
Yep. McLaren's other half, poor Oscar Piastri, got sent into a spin in that turn 1 chaos thanks to Max, and he said, "Move of a world champion, that." He spent the rest of the evening playing catch-up in a car that deserved better. He finished outside the big headlines, but Abu Dhabi would not let him live. Still, with Lando winning and McLaren scooping the Constructors' Championship for the first time since 1998, Oscar definitely earned a slice of Zach Brown's celebratory cake.
Aston Martin had a slightly forgettable finale. Fernando Alonso finished solidly in the midfield with that classic "I will extract points from anything" energy, while Lance Stroll hovered just outside the points, battling tyre wear and general Yas Marina boredom.
Alpine were there. The thing is, for Abu Dhabi, they took out Esteban Ocon and replaced him with Jack Doohan because they wanted Jack to be part of the post-season testing. And let's get to that maybe towards the end. So it was Pierre and Jack, and they just spent their race in the usual 2024 habitat, almost points but not quite zone. They fought cleanly, avoided the bigger chaos, and finished just shy of the top 10. It was just a perfect summary of their entire season. It's just that Pierre and Esteban had a off day in Brazil, because of which they got a podium, because of which they got enough points to be P6. Otherwise, they would have been exactly where they are this season, just at plumb last. Also, the one thing, because Jack was replaced in that last race, they didn't tell Esteban until the last race.
Oof.
And he was moving to Haas after that. He had a special helmet, like a thank you helmet for Abu Dhabi, and they didn't even let him race.
That's horrible.
Yes, Alpine and Flavio Briatore.
It's like getting broken up on a text.
Oh my god. Yes.
Racing Bulls had a feisty night. Yuki Tsunoda sent it more than once and flirted with the edges of the points, while Liam Lawson, stepping in again for the team late this season, kept things tidy but didn't quite have the race pace to break it onto the top 10. Still, solid, drama-free racing from the junior Red Bull squad.
Haas had one of those evenings where you could see the effort but not the reward. Nico Hülkenberg wrestled the car beautifully and kept pace with the midfield and early on, but the tires just fell away from him. Kevin Magnussen had that amazing lap that he set, the fastest lap, but beyond that, there was really nothing else for him.
Williams had a mixed finale too. Alex Albon showed great early pace but fell backwards as the strategy window closed on him, while Logan Sargent, well, Logan had a clean race. For Williams in 2024, that alone was a minor victory.
And finally, Sauber. Valtteri Bottas and Zhou Guanyu delivered exactly the kind of race Sauber had wanted all year. Clean, consistent, and somewhere in the lower half of the midfield. Nothing catastrophic, nothing magical, but both brought the cars home safely and closed out the partnership with the team.
And when the checkered flag dropped, the stars of the night were McLaren, ending their 26-year drought and reclaiming the Constructors' Championship under the Yas Marina floodlights. Mechanics crying, confetti everywhere, Zach Brown fist pumping like it was the papaya rapture.
Yes.
A perfect finale.
And with that, we said goodbye to some familiar faces. 2024 marked the final full season races for Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes, Daniel Ricciardo, Valtteri Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, and Logan Sargent. Some moved teams, some moved series, some just moved on, and some will come back in 2026. Abu Dhabi always gives us emotions, but this one felt like a graduation, a goodbye, and a neon lit reset button all at once. Abu Dhabi may look glamorous on TV and its glowing hotel and fancy marina, but for the teams, the race is a technical tightrope walk disguised as a postcard. It's the only Grand Prix that starts in broad daylight, runs into golden hour, and finishes at night, which means the teams are basically trying to set up a car for 3 different planets in one race.
The big headache here is the temperature swing. FP1, boiling. FP2, perfect. FP3, random. Qualifying, cool. Race, all of the above. So engineers spend their entire weekend obsessing over track evolution, asphalt temperature, and how quickly the tires will cool the moment the sun dips. If the car is too soft for the heat, it overheats the tires. If it's too stiff for the night, the tires glaze and slide. There's no perfect setup. It's just the least painful compromise.
Downforce wise, Yas Marina is one of those Goldilocks tracks. You need enough downforce for the twisty hotel section, but not so much that you become a DRS victim on those long straights. Historically, teams run a medium downforce. Suspension tuning here is sneaky important. The track is ridiculously smooth, which means teams can run the car low and stiff to maximize the aero. But of course, be very, very careful not to make the plank too thin. McLaren, do not get your drivers disqualified again.
Tire management is another major storyline. With the temperature drop mid-race, tires can go from cooked to cold in minutes. Teams need a strategy that accounts for deg in the sun but grip loss at night. Most of the field leans towards the two-stop strategy. But if an early safety car drops in, and let's be honest, Abu Dhabi loves a turn 6 chaos moment, strategy brains go into overdrive.
And of course, let's not forget logistics. Abu Dhabi is the last race, which means teams literally start packing the garage before the podium ceremony finishes. Every spare part, every laptop, every tire warmer is labeled and shipped out, while mechanics are sipping energy drinks and just gently sobbing into wheel guns. This is the race where exhaustion meets adrenaline meets please let me go home.
It's a race of balance, patience, and pure adaptability, which is why Abu Dhabi often gives us champions, heartbreaks, redemption arcs, and one very tired, very sunburned pit lane packing for the final flight home.
Alright, let's talk about DRS one last time. Because Abu Dhabi 2025 is the final race where that little flap will ever save someone. In plain terms, DRS or drag reduction system is a movable flap on the rear wing that opens when you're within 1 second of the car ahead at a particular detection point. It cuts the drag and it gives you a burst of top speed. And it has been the easiest way to manufacture an overtake since 2011. For more information on how it works, listen to our very first episode because we did explain downforce.
It works, sometimes brilliantly, sometimes horribly, and often like a placebo you could buy at a motorsport gift shop. DRS made for dramatic overtakes, weird DRS trains where everyone just opens the flap and nothing happened, and endless fan arguments about whether an overtake is real if someone had to press a button for it.
Next year, the aero philosophy changes entirely. The new cars are designed to produce less dirty air and have movable front wings instead. So overtaking will just rely on old bravery, late braking, tire life, and who's got the guts to send it into a corner at the exact wrong moment. We're going back to actual racing. So what does that mean on Sunday at Yas Marina? It means every DRS activation you will see now will be just a little historic. The last time a driver can pop that flap in anger on an F1 grid. Next year, DRS becomes a museum piece alongside V10 engines, Bridgestone tires, and the idea that Ferrari always executes clean strategies.
You know, my favorite meme on DRS is that Braun GP's Jensen was the first person to ever press the DRS button.
Yeah.
And they joke about it being the longest name. Get it? Jensen Button.
Yes. Jensen Button is Jensen was the first person to ever press the DRS button. I get it. And funnily, he himself asked to be put in a car so that he could be the last person to do it. That would be very fun. I wish that they could make that happen, but the FIA is not that fun.
Oh, one last time to make fun of MBS for this year?
Oh my god, I totally forgot. But this year started with a lot of rumors that he'll be replaced, but I'm pretty sure he'll get the majority vote again because of all that Emirati money.
So I can listen to you complain again?
Yes, you will. But you have to wait because this is the wrap on the first season of F101 with friends. We will be going into the longest break ever and we'll be back next year right before we get into pre-season testing to explain whatever we can about the new regs. We will have a new format and some fun things lined up, so don't forget to check back in through Instagram. Just the one thing that we will miss from this season, so now that we're here at the end, is of course Yuki Tsunoda. My depression has begun because Red Bull has just announced that Isaac Hadjar will be moving up to the Red Bull seat from Racing Bulls, and Arvid Lindblad, who is the new rookie from F2, will be coming in to the Racing Bulls seat, which means we'll have one rookie next year. It's kind of exciting. We had 6 this year who have really proved themselves. And
the rookie's Indian, so that's even more exciting.
Well, half Indian, yes.
Fair enough. Half the excitement.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's while I'm sad for Yuki, it's fine. He might go over to IndyCar, which is more about consistency. So he might actually do better there, and or he might stay back as a test and reserve driver for Red Bull. We're recording this in advance, so we're not sure what has happened. I also heard a rumor that he may not be racing in Abu Dhabi at all. This is related to that post-season testing that I was talking about. Basically, post the season, all the teams do a little bit of testing with their cars just to see what worked, what didn't, to understand the best about the version of the car that they have. Maybe it helps them understand how to do the next year more effectively. But you can only do postseason testing if you've raced at least once in the team. So if they want Arvid to be part of the postseason testing,
Then that means he has to race this time.
Correct. Same goes for Isaac. If they want him to be part of postseason testing in a Red Bull, then
He has to drive the Red Bull.
in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
And you can't replace Max Verstappen. That would be a sin.
Yeah, that would be a sin because he's amazing to watch.
He is amazing to watch.
Yes.
I feel like I've noticed that the drivers that you root for somehow, end up not getting the seat for the next year.
Man.
Is it possible that you could root for Lando Norris for this Abu Dhabi race? I mean, just for well wishes, honestly.
I think it only works if I genuinely like them. The problem is I genuinely like Oscar Piastri now. God, please don't make him retire next year. Unless he wins the championship and he does a Nico Rosberg. I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
But that's all for us to discover in 2026. To our amazing listeners, what do you think? Drop your hot takes in the comments, send us a message, or tag us in your wildest predictions for 2026. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and share F101 with friends because this community is just getting started. Special shout out to Ashwati and Kevin who supported the podcast and also my mental health. Thank you, Bharati, for coming back. I have been your host, Nisha, and we'll see you on the next season of F101 with friends.